I put out on my website and ask for everybody who tunes into my website to send me the excuses that you use most commonly in your life. As I sat down to write this book, this is the third chapter in Excuses Be Gone. And I got 5,500 replies. And my friend and I started just taking them apart and just putting them into different, this is the same as this is the same as this. And sure enough, there were 18 categories. And so there are 18 excuse categories. On the PBS special, you see them as thought bubbles that'll come up when it plays on June the 1st. I'll just give them to you real quickly. And I want you to understand now, these are all viruses. These are all things that were placed into your mind that you have come to believe, that have infiltrated and spread throughout your culture. There are cultural ways of thinking that do not hold up to any of the components of the Excuses Be Gone paradigm. That if you begin to practice it, you can change it, whatever it is. I'd like you to think, particularly those of you who are closet addicts in here, and closet eaters as well. I'd like you to just sit right now and just visualize that tomorrow you can be free of it. Tomorrow. Easily. Easily. And everything that you need, and everyone that you need, and whatever money you need, all of it will begin to show up for you. You can make that shift. Tomorrow, you're free of it. That's how powerful this is. I've seen it work. It will be difficult. Excuse. It will be risky. It will take a long time. There will be family drama if I do this. So I don't do it. I don't deserve it. It's not my nature. I can't afford it. You should never, ever, ever say the words, I can't afford it, and use money as a reason why you can't attract into your life what you want. Of course, there is money out there for you. You just haven't connected to it. You've got to have within you an understanding that that is simply an explanation that keeps you from doing what it is that you want to do. You can afford to go to college. You can afford to travel. You can afford to get anything that you want in your life to make your life work at the level that you want to. You can't afford it. The money is out there. The capacity for making it, attracting it into your life is within you. But if you believe that what I'm saying is not true, you're right. And that's a meme. That's a mind virus. You've already accepted and you haven't challenged whether or not the thought that you are thinking that you can't afford it is true or not. How many in this room have ever had the experience of believing that you couldn't afford to do something, and you went home and suddenly an unexpected bonus had showed up in some way in your life? A tax refund, somebody sent you money, whatever, you found it, whatever. How many people have had that experience at one time or another in your life? Look around. Everybody's had that experience. It's a universal experience. And yet you convince yourself that it can't happen for you. Why would you continue with that thought? I'm getting ahead of myself. All right. No one will help me. There's 7 billion people on the planet. They all want to help you. Almost all of them are looking to help somebody. And you're convinced that there's nobody out there that will help you with what it is that you want to do or what your dream is. I'm not strong enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm too old or too young. The rules won't let me. It's just too big. I don't have the energy. My family history won't let me. I'm too busy. I'm scared. The greatest gift that you have been given is your imagination. In your imagination, in your thoughts, you have the ability to be able to create anything you want for yourself in your life. Anything in your thoughts. Would you agree with that? That you can think and create an image of what it is that you would like to be able to create. That the greatest gift that you've ever been given is the gift of your imagination. That you can create for yourself in your thoughts what it is that you would like to have for yourself. The problem with it is that most people don't get it. They think that I just think it and that's not really reality. What I'm suggesting here is a shift in thinking about how you contemplate. So that contemplation doesn't just become something that you think about, it becomes a way of being. That contemplation, that your thoughts are actually like things that begin the process of materialization. That what you contemplate in your mind ultimately you can harden into material reality, into form. In fact, everything that has been hardened into material form began with someone's imagination, began with a thought. Okay? So that William Blake said that everything that you now see was once only imagined. Everything.